Awesome. I'm so excited to be able to have three of us on the podcast today. It's myself and Meg, and we are here with Lynn.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Beyond blessed to be here with you, Lynn. So excited to get dropped in with you.
So, Lynn, could you just share with everyone who you are and what you do, what you love doing?
Perfect. Thanks, Marsha. My name is Lynne Zimmerman. I live in Waterloo, Ontario, and I'm a culinary nutritionist and personal chef. I focus on dairy-free, gluten-free, and refined sugar-free foods that actually taste really good and delicious. And I support midlife women as they're going through sort of the change of life and they've really lost their energy and their joy for time in the kitchen. And I really help them to bring that energy back and to really have fun while they're doing it at the same time.
Mm. Have you always done this? I just love everything. Have you always done this, or what brought you into this work?
Yes, I have always loved cooking. So, one of the first gifts I can remember getting as a kid was actually an easy bake oven. And no, those packages were not dairy free and gluten free, but that was my introduction to cooking. And ironically, I just kept on doing it. My mom was not a great cook. My mom was an amazing baker. I can remember sitting up on a Friday night waiting for that homemade bread to be finished in the oven and slathering on the butter with it. But when it came time for her to be making dinner, her idea of dinner was like pan fried pork chops and canned boiled potatoes. And so I figured there has to be something better than this. And so I just kept on, and I was really fortunate. I had lots of opportunity in the kitchen, and my dad was a science teacher. So I sort of took that experimentation stage and experimented in the kitchen and started cooking all of our meals from the time I was able to reach the counter. And I've been continuing doing it ever since.
I started cooking for my family when I could drive. At 16, I was the one driving to the grocery store. My mom would give me a check to go buy the groceries, and I cooked the food.
Yeah.
So, why are you so inspired in terms of the dairy free, gluten free, sugar free realm? I really love to know that.
My daughter, who's now 32, was a really unwell child. She had lots of energy, but she just had every single illness that went around from the time she was 3. By the time Alyssa was 17 or 18, she had probably been on, and I'm not exaggerating, like 40 rounds of antibiotics for the amount of random illnesses that she had. And she was gone to Banff for a summer semester there. When she came back, she had mono, and the doctor wanted to put her on medication again. And for some reason, I don't know what cued in my mind, but I just said, there's got to be a better answer than this. And I took her to a naturopath for the very first time I had ever been to one. And the naturopath suggested that Alyssa go off dairy, gluten, and refined sugar for 6 months. Alyssa wanted to feel better, and thank goodness I had a teenager who was willing to stick with it. And so changed our diet. And after 6 months, she said she was never going back to eat that another way again. That if people realized how good they could feel in their own body, everybody would eat that way. And we've been dairy-free, gluten-free, refined sugar-free ever since, and that's 14 years now.
Wow. Full body shivers, confirmation right there. That is a long time. So, you were dairy free, gluten free, sugar free before it was even trending.
Yeah, yes, and I would say that gluten-free stuff, especially back then, was more like it wasn't good for you by any means, and so we just really eliminated it from the diet.
Mhm.
There you couldn't get any, like, good, breads or pastas or anything like that. I can make all of that stuff now.
There's so many different options now compared to, I think I've been almost 20 years. And I mean, the first amount of gluten-free food was just horrific. It was not an easy thing to figure out food-wise. I'm curious, when you are in a space now of when you started, did it feel like a lot of work to learn how to eat better and to be able to cut the gluten out? Like, someone listening to this might be thinking, okay, but where do I even start? How can you help to take the overwhelm out of somebody who is really wanting to take better care of themselves food-wise, but they don't know where to start?
Yeah, that's a really great question, Marsha, because I do get that from my clients a lot as well. The first thing that I would say to anybody who is wanting to try that is really just to do one thing at a time. I wouldn't suggest that you eliminate dairy, gluten, and refined sugar all in the same swipe, but commit to doing dairy for 3 months. And once you've got that under your belt, then commit to doing gluten for 3 months. But what I would say is there's so many options now and it's actually good for you. So, you can make bread out of millet flour and flaxseed and chia seed and ground up, oats and that sort of thing. And so those are whole foods. And there's just a way that you can pull it together with some apple cider vinegar and some chia seeds that make it into like a flax egg. And it's an actual loaf of bread. You don't have to do that yourself, but there are some great providers, local stores that offer that sort of thing that it's easy to go and pick it up. You're going to enjoy it and you're supporting local at the same time, which I'm a big advocate of as well.
Mhm.
That I would suggest for women is to make sure that they're getting in their protein every day. And that I suggest like 7.75 or 1 gram of protein for every ideal pound of body weight. And the other key is fiber. We do not get enough fiber, but if you're eating bread and muffins and that sort of thing with those ingredients in, you will definitely get enough fiber.
So I know your ideal clientele is in their later years. So why specifically fiber and protein for individuals?
Yeah, that's a great question, Meg. And it's really important. So, first of all, fiber is going to allow the motility in your body to work properly so that you're not carrying any extra liquids in your body. The protein is important because it fills you up. And it's also really good for your brain health as well as your bone and your muscle health. And so, as women in our later years, we are starting to lose bone and muscle if we don't do something about that. And the statistics are that if you were to break your hip within a year, 75% chance you're going to have another injury and you could end up in the hospital. And so we just want to make sure that we are eating properly so that we have that longevity and vitality and can take care of ourselves long into our 80s and 90s.
Yes, preventative, right?
Yes.
100% preventative. I have had the pleasure of having you cook at 2 retreats for me. One was a weekend, and then the other one was a full week. And I love how the women absolutely loved getting the education from you before we even started eating. It was so cute because the one day I was a little bit late getting to dinner, and they're like, "You're missing Lynn. She's teaching us right now." I'm like, "Okay, I'm coming." I just loved it. But one of the things that I find has been consistently blowing people away is, what should we have before we eat our food?
Well, we should always start our meal with a salad or some sort of greens, and that includes your breakfast as well. And people are probably thinking, wow, that's crazy. And you can accomplish that by putting in some spinach into your smoothie or some kale. But what starting your meal with greens does is it really lines your stomach with good food that doesn't impact your blood sugar. And then you can follow by your protein and then your carbs. If you're going to have dessert, it's really important you just have it right after your meal. Then you don't get the spikes in blood sugar. So then you don't have those crashes later on in the day where you're feeling like you're needing some sort of food because you're a bit shaky. But yeah, people think it's really crazy, but you really should start every meal with some greens, whether it's green beans or a salad or whatever it is. But yes, start your meal with greens.
You actually shared that inside of our mastermind, I think in the summertime. I was like, so before I had my protein shake, I'd go out to my garden and have like a cucumber or some kale, and I'd be munching on that before I'd go inside and have my protein shake. So thank you so much. And I actually have learned and listened to my body so much more since starting to do that because my digestion has completely shifted since implementing that into my diet. So thank you for that hot tip, Lynn.
I'm glad it did. Thanks for sharing that, Meg.
Yeah.
There's one other thing that I find is so fascinating. Like, people think, can you have dessert that is gluten-free, dairy-free?
It's so funny. When I started cooking dairy free and gluten free, and I would offer to bring food to potluck, nobody really wanted me to bring anything. Now, everyone wants me to bring dessert. And that means people who eat like a regular diet as well. Just because you're having dairy free, gluten free, and refined sugar free doesn't mean you can't have a very decadent dessert. One of my favorites would be like a chocolate melting cake with a really dark chocolate and a creamy center with like a cashew milk ice cream and a dairy-free salted caramel sauce on it. So yes, you can use like maple sugar and dates. Those foods have plenty of sweetness in them to make a really decadent dessert that everybody can enjoy. And people will ask you for the recipe and invite you to bring something to a potluck at all.
You made those squares for us, and they were, well, wait, we're in the squares.
So those are like those dairy-free, gluten-free Twix bars. So the base is like almond flour and some coconut oil, a little bit, I think a tablespoon of maple syrup. And then the filling, which is decadent, is like softened dates. So blended up in a food processor. So they go really chewy with some almond butter and a little bit of vanilla. And if you mix that together, you cannot tell the difference between that and caramel. And then a dark
Out of what
chocolate on
caramel?
top, like a 70 or 80% dark chocolate just melted, like super simple, just delicious.
It was just very cute because she made a tray for us that was supposed to last the whole week, and it didn't. And the day before you were due to come, they were like, "Can you message Lynn to make more of those?" I'm like, "You guys, she does not have time to make another whole tray." Things. She's bringing us more food, but they were blown away at how good that dessert was. And I think, it's interesting because we're also in a time where, time is like we're short on time. And maybe it's easier to buy a bag of mixed nuts, for example, than, for example, the nuts that you make. And I think that is, you really do dispel a lot of that we can make things.
And I think one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself and your family, if you're supporting your family with food as well, is to do some meal prep. Like on Sundays, Marsha, I know that you're big on this. In an hour and a half or 2 hours, you can, marinate 3 or 4 different kinds of proteins. You can roast some vegetables in the oven so that you're prepared. Whip up a salad dressing or a dip or something to go with some fresh veggies that are in the fridge. And you're so many steps ahead. And then if you're coming home from work, or even if you're working from home and you're thinking, oh my gosh, what am I going to have for dinner? It's already in the fridge, right? Like it's just, and when you do that, you can have a meal that's really good for yourself and your family on the table. You're going to feel so much better the next day.
Mm-hmm. Yes, meal prep is the ticket. Lynn, I'm really curious. So there's individuals that have to be gluten-free, dairy-free, refined, sugar-free due to different ailments, diseases, diagnoses, right? For those that don't necessarily have a chronic illness, but their body has been whispering to them that something has to change, what are some symptoms that these people that might be navigating that they aren't really aware of, that becoming gluten-free, dairy-free would be a huge asset for them?
Some of the, things that their body could be telling them is they're feeling a bit bloated. So maybe their pants are a little bit tighter after they have a meal with dairy or gluten. Their digestion isn't working as well. That can make you feel bloated as well. Your skin, you could be having trouble with, like thin skin or even acne later on in your years as well. That can come back. Thinning or brittle hair or brittle nails. And just a real general lack of energy, like not wanting to get up in the morning or not feeling rested when you get up in the morning, or, not having enough breakfast can lead to like an afternoon crash as well. Or if you haven't eaten the right combination of food, like you're not getting enough protein in, can make you feel foggy in the afternoon as well. Your body is the best indicator. I know, Meg, you say your body is the best business plan. It really does tell you what is good for your body and what isn't. Like after a meal, you just gauge how you feel. Are you feeling like you still have that flat stomach and you've got lots of energy, or you feeling a bit bloated and, oh my goodness, I'd like to lay down on the couch and have a nap? Like those are good indicators whether you're putting in the right foods in or not.
It's huge. It's huge. For me personally, I'll speak openly. My skin started to break out, and I was like, what is happening with my skin? And I learned that my body was becoming more and more sensitive to dairy and gluten. So some of these things that people aren't cognizant of that could be these ailments predominantly is always based on what we're nourished in our bodies with, mind, body, and soul. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are some first steps people can take that might be having said symptoms? Like what's a great way for them to kind of start to lean in?
Yeah, so I would say if you're experiencing, some bloating, let me track back for 1 second. I do think it's important to note, like the gluten that we're getting in Canada, like there's no nutritional value in that food anymore. So if you're eating like white bread or you're eating pasta from a box in a grocery store, like yes, you're filling your belly, but you're not getting any nutrition from it because it's been sprayed and with pesticides and herbicides, and our soil is very, very depleted. So, A, you're not getting any nutrients from that food anymore. I would start with eliminating gluten as my first option and just see, for 3 months and commit to it. Your body knows. So even if you think you're going to like sneak something, it's really better if you just commit to trying it fully for 3 months. And I think if you even eliminated it for 7 days,
Mhm.
you're going to feel so much better, you know.
Yes.
You have
100%.
so much knowledge. Like, honestly, when I look at, and I mean, it's been such a pleasure to get to know you even more. These last 12 months, like Meg and I have absolutely loved this. And I know that you have so much knowledge, and there's only so much Lynn that we can spread into all of the different places. Right. So, what is a way that you have found that you can share this knowledge and information with other people?
Yeah, so I've actually been launching a new program. It's starting in January. The launch is next week and moving into January. And that program is called Nourish and Thrive. And it's a 6-week program where we're going to have online cooking classes for 90 minutes each week. There'll be some coaching that goes along with it. And it really is a blend of science and soul. And the science is like the nutrition part of that. So, what foods you should be eating, you like and enjoy, and small changes each week, nothing crazy. There's no calorie counting, there's no diet. I don't believe in that at all. And then the soul part of it is, what are some rituals that you can easily introduce? For example, I'm single and I had to go through this, kind of learnings myself over the last 2 years. I had gained some weight really quickly. I wasn't happy with how I felt. I looked in the mirror, didn't recognize myself. None of my clothes fit. And when I started to really look at, how am I nourishing my body? And nourishing means like I deserve to sit down and take 30 minutes and sit at the table and eat my food and chew my food properly so that I'm not constantly rushing and going, or as opposed to before I was standing at my island, if you can imagine, making a dinner quickly, standing at my island, munching it down, wondering why I have digestion problems and bloating. So those rituals go to, doing your meal prep and sitting and enjoying your meal, having a really nice tea later on in the evening and taking a few deep breaths and recognizing the wins that you've had for the day. So yeah, so this program, I'm super excited about it. It will be, there's a Telegram group as well. And although we're not starting until January, I'm offering a getting through the holiday guides bonus where people are going to get the recipes on how to make those delicious squares and some other desserts if they are going to any family events and they want to take something that's healthy for them. And just, how do I fill my plate? So if I'm going for a dinner somewhere, how do I fill my plate so that I'm going to feel better after I'd have dinner? I'm not looking for anyone to deny themselves holiday meals at all, but if you can make a few small tweaks that you don't feel denied at all, why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Why wouldn't you? I love that you shared that and how to like fill your plate in the holidays. I think that that is it's fascinating because there are still ways. I mean, we have family dinners that I actually purposely bring food to so that I can fill my plate so that I can put on it what I want. But I love that you're adding that into it.
And one of those tricks, Marcia, is start with your green vegetables. If there's broccoli or Brussels sprouts at the Christmas table, have those first. Nourish and Thrive program, you'll see information on Instagram, and my website is www.herbsandhoney, the letter N, honey.ca as well. Find more information there.
Amazing.
Who doesn't want to feel nourished and thrive,
Yeah,
right?
everyone should. Everyone deserves to.
100%. And I know for me, because it's not critical that I eat gluten-free and dairy-free, that when I do eat gluten and dairy-free, I'm like, oh, there's a little reminder because I do feel so much better. when I do eat gluten-free and dairy-free. So I think this is really such an important program for you to bring out into the world, Lynn, and for people to experience your magic of medicine. So they can enroll next week.
Next week. Yes. Yep.
Exciting.
Amazing. I'm so proud of you for how much we've got to witness you step into this like knowledge and expertise, experience that you have and being able to share it with others. It's just been so much fun to watch.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
So, over the last 12 months, we have had the pleasure, both Meg and I have, of being able to see you and your growth in the Heartwired CEO Mastermind. And even to the point that when we had our live event, we didn't tell you guys that we were going to ask you to come on stage, but we did. And you like immediately jumped up and did it. The amount of growth we've witnessed has been so much fun to see. I would love it if you would share what has this experience been like for you and how are you proud of yourself and how much you've grown?
Yeah, I'd love to take an opportunity to talk about that. I have grown like so much in the last 10, 11 months. And I've really just recognized it. And I would say in the last 2 months, I know I've been doing different things up until that point, but I really have just recognized the changes in me in the last 2 months. At the beginning of the year, you both know, like I did not, I did not have any confidence to be seen. I was not on Instagram, social media. Heck, I didn't even like getting my picture taken. So it's- that's how far back I was, to be perfectly honest. But we've done like so many different exercises. And I do have to comment about the exercises. I come from a corporate world. When we first started doing some of the nervous system regulation tools or the somatic tools that Meg would lead us through, I really was questioning what I had done and what I had joined because it wasn't like anything I had ever experienced before. And I think that was the first couple somatic sessions that we did. And I still think they're weird, but I would agree 100% that they work. I wouldn't be here today if they didn't work. Yeah, so from someone who didn't want to be seen and had no confidence to someone now, like I'm being seen regularly on Instagram. I'm using my voice on Instagram. I did get up at the Heartwired CEO event and speak, and I was nervous, but I was comfortable. I'm on this podcast today. I'm creating a program for women in my position so that I can help them. I'm just so much more comfortable sharing my voice. And the one thing that's really significant to me is I didn't trust myself before. And I have a really deep knowing, like deep within my bones now, that I am on the right path and that whatever comes my way, that I can handle it. And thanks to both of you, because for me, like the mastermind has just changed so much. And just, I'll share this comment too, because it's kind of funny that I saw someone that I hadn't seen for a while about 6 weeks ago now. And they asked me if I was Benjamin Button because they feel like I'm aging backwards. And it's such a compliment because I do feel, at the beginning of the year, I was very stuck on my age. I was 55. Now I'm 56 and felt that I was too late to be doing anything. And why did someone my age deserve new chances and new opportunities now? And I think when they said that I was like Benjamin Button aging backwards, I'm like, yeah, and I'm just getting started. Like I have so many new things that I want to do and I'm not afraid anymore. And I'm super proud that I'm 56 and doing all of this.
Oh my goodness, Lynn. You are just getting started, and it's been a privilege of a lifetime to be able to witness your growth, expansion, evolution, and your homecoming. It's just awe-inspiring, and I'm really excited to see where this next year takes you and leads you and all that awaits for you. Truly, just getting started. And I also want to commend you for trusting the process. I know Marsha has shared like part of the mastermind that she was with me. I always preface, you all are going to be wondering why we're doing this work. right? You're going to question, why are we doing this? And would you agree that that is the foundational work that has really allowed you to continue to grow and scale to the capacity that you have this year?
Yes, 100%. I've done all the strategy stuff before. I've been in masterminds before and never gotten anywhere.
Mm.
So that it has to be the piece that was missing the whole time. Yeah.
And it's an intangible, it's hard to explain, it doesn't really make sense to be able to say, like understanding what nervous system regulation is and how to feel safe to allow yourself to be seen. And I see you over this last year, like, and I've got to witness you firsthand in a number of situations where, I mean, I think it was in March when we did our live podcast, and I was like, okay, and you're going to speak. And you're like, what?
Ex-
And you still you did amazing. But I've watched, like, we've got to witness your growth throughout the year. And this is a piece that is so important when it comes to nervous system work and understanding how your subconscious works. People can say that if you get enough reps in, that you will feel confident, that you will feel the feeling. And it's like, no, you actually have to feel the feeling and feel safe to hold it first before everything else starts to expand. And that is where this work is different. So I do vividly remember your very first call, and you're like, what is this? I actually had the same, I think I said the exact same thing when I was in Meg's Mastermind, and it has been like incredibly transformational, this work. So it's just been so much fun to witness the growth in you and to see what you're doing with it.
Oh, thank you. And now I must say, like from the beginning of the year to like, what is this? And now I'm excited when we're doing something new that I haven't learned because I can implement that in my toolbox as well. As they do. Like these tools are life changing. Yeah. I don't have any other way to say it.
You are so radiant. You are so wise. You have so much knowledge, and the world needs your light now more than ever. I'm so excited for people to experience this program that you're offering and all the other things that transpire as a result from this.
Thanks so much, Meg. Thank you.
So grateful to have you here. And I'm just like, I'm excited to witness everything that's going to continue to unfold for you.
Marsha, thank you. Me too. Thanks. Thank you both so much.
This is the new baseline. Most people think scaling is about doing more strategy, more hours, more effort. Your success isn't about how hard you work. It's about how well your nervous system can hold what you're building. If your body is stuck in survival mode, no strategy in the world will make scaling feel sustainable. You'll stay in this cycle of overthinking, self-sabotaging, pushing harder while getting nowhere. Not because you don't know what to do, but because your system isn't wired to receive what you're working for. That's why I created the Inner Pharmacy Playbook. 143 power pages of real, high-level strategy to regulate your nervous system, rewire resistance, and finally step into momentum that sticks. Because you weren't meant to build your empire through exhaustion. You were meant to build it with ease, clarity, and power. And that starts here. Go to the show notes and grab your copy of the Inner Pharmacy Playbook, because the next level of your business is not about grinding harder. It's about becoming the version of you who can hold it all.